What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vaping Twinkie. Today I'm actually going to rewind a little bit. The thing is, I had a recent video of me priming 3 tanks, and I had a few viewers actually comment and message me, and a couple of customers message me also, telling me I should have done a better job on explaining the process of me priming the coil when I was down here and whatnot, showing you guys. I just fast forwarded it. Problem was I didn't want to cram so much footage into one video. I don't want you guys to be sitting there in front of the screen for more than 30 minutes, really not even more than 20 minutes, but I took about an hour of footage and crammed it into a 20 something minute video, which could have been better, honestly. So today it's not just gonna be me trying to recap everything. It's going to be a fairly new tank and actually a little treat also. Today's tank that we're going to be working on is actually the FreeMax Pro Mesh. A lot of people are currently familiar with it. I didn't get a chance to actually break it down. I just want to share my opinion and my advice on what to do and how to do it. So let's get started actually. But before we get started, let me run you down on the FreeMax Mesh, because there's a little bit of confusion going on with some people on what to call it or how to call it. First off, FreeMax has been around for a while. One of their popular tanks from a while back was actually the FreeMax Star Pro. I still see people using them. Pretty complicated to get those coils since I don't think they really make them anymore, but you could find them online. The thing is, FreeMax came back to life when they released the Fire Luke or Fire Lock. There's different names or different, I have no clue. I seen Fire Lock, I seen Fire Luke, Fire Lock. This was basically their original up-to-date tank, having a single, dual, or was it 6-tuplet and dual Darien coils for it. Well, after they released this one, they decided to make the Fire Luke Pro. That's different from the Pro Mesh, I'll be honest with you. They're all compatible coils, but different from the Pro Mesh. So first was the Fire Luke. Had this weird Cleto style drip tip. I guess they updated the Pro to use a 810 drip tip. Well, after they made this, they made right now what everybody knows as the Fire Luke Mesh, which is this guy right here. This basically probably took the vape world by storm. Probably the very first mesh sub-ohm tank out on the market, and as far as I see right now, everybody's making coils mesh style, just like these guys did. So after they made this and they realized they made a killing, made a great product, long-lasting coils, great on flavor, they decided to rewind it and go back to the Fire Lukes. So they said, you know what can change on the Fire Luke? Well, what can change is they made mesh coils compatible for not only just the Pro Mesh, but for the original, the Pro, and the Mesh. So it's pretty cool. And they changed it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is actually, I'm going to bring you down here, pull everything out of the box, and show you what they changed up compared to the first 2 versions of this tank. All right, guys, bring you down. Well, here she is, the FreeMax Pro Mesh. Let's take a look at what we got inside. So basically, your manual. Autofocus ain't really cutting it today, I guess. Okay. Just gives you your specifications, schematic diagram, adjustable airflow, coil head, top flow. So it's basically just your manual. That's basically everything I'm going to be explaining to you today. So we'll just throw that off to the side. Well, right off the bat, inside your box, excuse me, got your coil, glass. I believe this is the 5 milliliter bubble glass, and then what's currently installed on is the 7 milliliter capacity. So you get more juice capacity on the one that's currently on. Don't need that. Well, what we got over here is a baggie of O-rings and gaskets in case you do break your glass and sever it, you got replacements. You might want to save those for future reference. Your bubble glass, this guy right here is the single barrel mesh, which is rated, let me see if I could see that, from 40 to 70 watts. I'll be honest with you, I've already played with this tank and I've basically used all 3 coils but the stainless steel temp mode coil, which I'm kind of anticipating. I can't wait to use because I do love using temperature mode. For the single mesh, I realized it does say 40 to 70. Ideally, I've been running it at 55 watts and it's phenomenal. I really got at least 2 weeks off the coil at 55 watts. See, the thing is, a lot of these coil companies, they purposely put that higher wattage on there, like 70 watts, just so you as a consumer could be like, okay, 70 watts, I'm going to vape it at 70. Your coil burns out, then you have to go back to the store and purchase more coils. I kind of don't want you guys to do that. I'd rather you guys save your money, get some long-lasting coils, great flavor out of it. Yeah, you'll chuck more clouds, but if you want higher wattage, move up to the dual barrel mesh coil or even the triple core mesh, which has 3 mesh coil centers in there. If you want higher wattage, you're better off just doing it that way. This is just a better idea, using a single core mesh for lower wattage, save you on battery life. Not so much more cloud production, but great on flavor also. Let's pull the tank out itself. So as I said, I'm going to show you what they changed on this compared to the first one, the second one, and now the current third one. As I said, for the first one, don't mind the glass, kind of got that does not come stock. I just found one and decided to slap it on there because it matched nicely. Basically, the original one, twist off, fill, and they had this weird drip tip, which was basically like a Cleto style. There's a proper term for it. It's on the tip of my tongue. I really can't get it out of me. But it's not Cleto style, but they have a proper term for it. It had that weird drip tip where it was kind of hard for people to find in case you broke it, lost it, or had any issues. A lot of places didn't really have this style of drip tip. Then they came out with a Pro. Pro still, instead of bubble glass, it was a slim glass. Same feature, twist off to fill. And for the drip tip, what they changed up, they went for the 810, which is ideal because right now that's a very common drip tip used on TFV12, Maxos. God, there's so many tanks, it's hard to say, but there's plenty of different tanks that take this similar drip tip, which is a lot easier to get a hold of. But for the Pro Mesh, they changed it up. The first 2 were actually twist off to fill. This one, you see that little red dot right there? All you do is slide. I like it because it's actually stiffer than some other tanks that have the same feature, so I don't feel like this would open up as easily in your pocket and make a mess. So I like that. It's pretty tough on there. You're gonna have to use 2 fingers. You could do 1, but it's gonna hurt. And they still stuck with the 810 drip tip, which is kick-ass. Love that idea. Well, let's just take this baby apart to take a look. So what they do is the stock coil that they have pre-installed inside of the tank is the dual core mesh. This baby is actually rated from 60 to 90 watts. Also, same thing as I said, I would not go to 90 watts. I've tested this coil. It's phenomenal at 65 watts. Can't go wrong with it. Yes, if you want, you could push it a little bit more, 70, 75, but I would not go to that high point of 90 watts. I want my coils to last as long as possible. So just like, always on there tight. Just like any other coil, it's threaded. Got a nice amount of cotton. I like how they changed this up also. They know they put a lot of cotton inside of this coil, and the fact that it's mesh, so it's not using a coil wire, so it's more of a mesh screen. Let me just tighten this up before I show you guys. You see how this one has that gap in it, but this one's closed off, gap, closed off. I like that idea. So basically, if you see, this closed off area is gonna be getting to the farther outer point of the coil itself. And then the gap spot, actually, they opened it so it actually could penetrate all the way through in order to get all the way to the other side of the coil, which is a great idea. That just means it's going to be feeding the juice a lot quicker, so less dry hits, let's say. Can't go wrong with that. Let's get this priming out of the way. Well, today, I don't know, I'm using a new flavor. I'm just not sure which one I want. You know what? I'll just go with this guy right here. It's called Loyalty Double Shot, which is a French vanilla coffee. I'm a coffee fan. It's just not easy to come across good coffee flavors. Somebody recommended this, so I'm going to give it a whirl. So my original priming video, I did not do this. I should have explained everything. The ideal way is, as anybody commonly knows, is, you put your tank together, get a little bit of juice on the outside, put it back together, and then fill it up and let it sit for 30 to 45 minutes. Well, a lot of people don't want to wait. They want to start vaping right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime the outsides. Get it juiced up a little bit. You want to prime it just because we don't want to dry fire it. That just means your coil is going to last a lot. No, sorry. It's not going to last as long. So not only are we going to get the outsides, but we are going to get the insides. As I always tell everybody, I rather over prime it than under prime it. For the fact is, if you under prime it, you have better chances of burning out your coil. But if you over prime it, the only problem you're going to have is a little bit of juice coming out of the airflow, which does not bother me. That's why we always got paper towels laying around somewhere. All right, so I got as much as I can on there. I'm going to screw this back together. Nice and snug. And fill her on up. Well, for this video, I do have a little treat for you guys. I got a new mod. I know, no surprise. I got a new mod. It's been a mod I've been wanting for a long time. One of my buddies / customers, great guy. I've met him a couple years back. He showed it to me when he brought it into the shop, and out of honesty, I fell in love with it. But when he told me it's not a very common mod and there's a limited of them made in the world, I wanted one, but I couldn't get one because apparently the guy that made them stopped making mods, so it's hard to come across. Well, recently he came back into the shop saying that he's moving out to Florida, and he asked me if I wanted to buy that mod. Well, I did, and I've never been happier before. So, pull her on out. Right off the bat, it comes in just a beautiful box. It is a projector mod, pinup series by Koncio Mods, and it is made in Poland. But I'll explain it as I'm pulling her out. There she is right there. Here's an authenticity card. It's got its birthday, which is February 23rd of 2016. Let me see, the autofocus is not working with me today. Well, oh well, I'll just read it to you. Yeah, it says Koncio Mods, certificate of authenticity. God, what's wrong with my speech today? Well, that's her right here. If I get a nice focus on it. Pin-up series. Just like on the card, it says it's a number 14. Having this is, I can't explain it. Beautiful unit, stabilized wood, purple, of course. That's my color, and that's why I really wanted it myself. It's just a nice piece to have in my collection. It's a DNA 200 chip, which everybody knows DNA is top of the line, lifetime warranty, extremely accurate. Well, this is the mod that I'm going to be rocking my new Fire Luke Pro Mesh on. Let's just get this baby wiped up a little bit. Like I said, I over primed it, so there's a little bit coming out of the airflow. All right. Well, I just wanted to show you guys this beautiful, beautiful mod. No, do not expect me to be seen in public with this. Maybe once in a great while. But yeah, I'm really scared to even take this out of the house. So I'm just going to keep it with me at home 99.5% of the time. All right, I'm going to bring you guys back up just so I could finish up the whole priming of the coil. Because as I said, yes, you could let it sit for 30, 45 minutes. I'll show you my ladder technique and what I do and how I do it and why I do it. So I'm going to bring you guys back up. All right, so let's finish up the rest of this tank and priming video slash tank review slash mod reveal. All right, so just like I mentioned in my other priming video where I did the 3 tanks, I'm not claiming this, but I'm sure somebody else has done this before also. I call it ladder priming. So no, don't say I created this or anything, because somebody else had the same idea on this planet and they did exactly what I did. Well, what I do is I read the required wattage, which is 60 to 90. So what I like to do, I go with the lowest, which is the 60, and cut it in half. So I start off at 30 watts. And what I do is I blow in and out of it as I fire it. So what I see it doing is basically thinning out the juice. And as you push and pull, which is blowing and, you know, vape, sucking, inhaling, or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to make it sound nasty, but sucking and blowing. What I see it doing is thinning out the juice and slowly pushing the juice into every corner and crevice of that coil, moistening up the cotton and getting it onto the mesh. I can't say coil wire, so mesh. Just getting it primed up super quickly without the weight. And what I do is do that every 5 watts. So I'm going to bring that back up to 35. And keep going until your desired wattage. Well, there you have it. I got it at my desired wattage, which is 65 watts, which is basically 5 watts above the low point. And as I always tell people, you know, you want your coils to last long, keep it anywhere plus or minus 10 to 15 watts from the low point. One coil company, which I love that does it, is the Falcons. What they have is basically on their M1 mesh coil, it says 70 plus with a minus underneath it, which is a great idea, and a 10. What that means, basically, you keep it at 70 watts plus or minus 10 watts, which I wish all these coil companies could do. Gives people a better idea what the wattage range should be at, and if you want your coils to last a little bit longer than normal. Because honestly, I don't like going to that high point. As I said before, all you're doing at that point is reaching its limit, and you're pushing it, and you're going to burn out your coil a lot quicker. I'd rather you save your money, get longer lasting coils, and enjoy it, actually. 65 watts. Great cloud production. Honestly, this juice is really, really good for vanilla coffee. Very good. So if you see Loyalty Double Shot, got it online. Actually, I got this at one of my distros just to test it out. No, we don't carry it at the shop yet. At least not yet. Feel free to take a look at it. You know, go online, find it. Loyalty Double Shot. They have a number of other flavors also, but the coffee stuck out to me the most, so I kind of went for that. Great morning vape. As far as the tank, FreeMax is a phenomenal company. They've always made great products. Since they took the vape world by storm with this beautiful little guy, the Firelock Mesh or Firelock, I honestly don't know anymore. We'll just say FreeMax Mesh, or Mini. Well, they're both FreeMax Meshes. Since they came to the vape world and brought us the mesh, it's been it's been storming everybody. They did a phenomenal job. The Firelock Pro Mesh, I love the fact that they decided to make it all compatible with all the last two versions, the original Firelock Pro, and the Firelock Pro Mesh. I'm grateful for that. So that just means we got, 8 different coils that fit in there, so you have a variety of different choices you could play with, from even stainless steel and temp mode, which is awesome, which I said in the future I will be using it inside of this because I do love using temperature mode, especially on a DNA. As far as this combo, I love it. Great combination. Pinup series projector mod with the purple Pro Mesh, can't go wrong with it. If you guys do have the opportunity and you're looking for a new tank that chucks clouds, has great flavor, go for the Pro Mesh. Can't go wrong with it. As I said before, I've tested it before. I have it on another one of my other units. I get long-lasting coils. At the bare minimum, when I'm pushing it, depending on the juice I use, I get about a week. But if I'm using a cleaner juice, I don't know how clean Loyalty is, but we'll figure it out. I got, I think, was it 2.5 or 3 weeks off that one coil? I went through about 110 milliliters of juice, which is pretty damn good, I'll be honest with you. Take a look at it. It's not expensive as you would think it is for being so big and having such unique and intricate coils. You're looking at anywhere from $30 to $36, depending on where you go. Phenomenal tank, I'll be honest with you. Snag one up if you have a dual battery mod. I wouldn't recommend using a single battery mod because you'll be going through battery life really quickly, but yeah, grab yourself the Firelock. I'm just gonna say it, the FreeMax Pro Mesh, because it doesn't even say Firelock or Firelock. FreeMax Pro Mesh.
Let me fall asleep.